cocksuckers. Here you go. Get up. Take that bitch to dance. Tell her to shake that ass. What? Are you fucking kidding me or what? The Flying Jew, Willie Barcena. What? Bah, bah, bah. Are you kidding me or what? Kill that shit, Lee. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Welcome to the church of what's happening now. It's Wednesday night, August 6th. I hope you're all right. I hope you got your reef, you ate your dinner, you did your jumping jacks, you were ready to rock here. We got my main man, Willie Barcena, in the house. The Flying Jews here. What's up with you, cocksucker?
Feeling great. I'm excited to be here.
What'd you do today?
I kind of took a little bit of an off day. Not really. I did a little bit of work, and then I went to the gym, and fuck it.
So you went to the gym. You didn't take an off day.
No, I know, but we had 2 early days in a row, and then I had a couple podcasts, so just kind of hung out today.
Oh, you slept late, you mean?
Yeah.
I recovered tremendously from my colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I took my first little poop, and there was no blood in it like the doctor said it would, so everything's all right. I recovered, so sometimes it pays to just take fucking good care of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
I didn't do dick today either. I didn't do dick yesterday. I went to jiu-jitsu today. What did I do yesterday? I did something fucked up. What was yesterday? Tuesday?
Yeah.
I went to acupuncture yesterday. I got my shit together.
How's Dr. Amy doing?
Dr. Amy's a bad bitch. You know that. She's working on my wrist. She cut me. She stuck fucking 2,000 needles in me.
Oh,
if there's somebody who looks like me right now, there's a voodoo doll on you. So fucking get it. She stuck needles everywhere, though, yesterday. And it's because they want to take the anesthesia out. So she took the needles in my leg. I did the regular fucking thing on my back. Then I did the cups. Then she lasered my hand, my wrist.
Did she say anything? Because sometimes you come in and she's like, Dr. Amy said I was smoking too much weed. Did she see anything?
No, she said that I changed when I got out of there. Like I did pick up. I had a headache when I walked in. When she sticks the needles in me, I'm all right.
Oh, good.
Sometimes she knows how to clear me up. I go every other week now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I go every other week. I'm getting ready to go back to the fucking Comedy Store tonight. You know, I haven't been there in 7 years.
Yeah.
For reasons, you know, I just figured you got to close one door before another one opens.
I was gonna ask you about that actually.
Would you stop with that fucking thing already, cocksucker?
I'm trying to get it right.
Jesus Christ!
Like, because you've always, since I've known you, always like I had to get out of there and like, what is it like going back? Because once you make a decision, you don't really change your mind that often.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on in my life, Willie. Since I've had the baby. I'm still a hard worker, man.
Right.
But I've gotten a little soft. I find myself watching TV, you know, with her. You know, I find myself a lot like watching TV. You know, my wife isn't working, so she slows me down. I'm the type of guy I like to get the fuck out of the house early. I like to get out of the house. I go to a coffee shop and write. You know, once I got an hour and a half of writing, then I come home and I still write, but I'm not going out at night. And I'm very happy that you're here tonight because you've always been one of my all-time favorite comics. And I've always been I admire your writing, and I'm kind of jealous of it. That you have a great comic eye. And but I'm not getting on stage enough.
No, you have to, bro. Well, you know, you're a guy that comes from jiu-jitsu and then knowing that whole martial arts world. It's, you know, that if you that goes hand in hand, man. You know, and if you don't roll, like, you know, we're talking about, you forget it. I don't care. You could be the smoothest guy, but you lay off the mat for a while and you get on, and it's almost like you're learning how to walk again. And the same thing happens with stand-up, man. And, you know, that's why I'll go to any crappy club. You know what I mean? Like,
right, no,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
the king of that.
Yeah.
I'm the king of that, like you.
Yeah.
The work ethic has been there.
Yeah.
But what happened was I didn't want to go into Hollywood no more.
Right.
One day I just said, you know what, man, I've been here 17 years. I don't want to beat it there anymore. You know, I got the podcast early in the morning. I want to be wide awake for that. You know, I like getting up early because I need 2 hours to jump in front of my wife and the baby, bro.
Right.
Because once they get up, there's nothing you can focus on.
No.
There's no joke you can focus on. There's no podcast you can focus on. There's no book. I'm trying to write a book. So
But you have to do it, bro. I tell you what, you have to, because I read a book by Stephen King. Stephen King wrote a book on
writing.
How to write.
Yeah, tremendous.
All right. Did you read it?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. What did he say about that part of writing, man? You remember he said if people who are waiting for the perfect time for everything to be perfect for you to write, those are called amateurs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I used to be.
Yeah, he goes, so I remember when I read the book, because I had been doing that, because, you know, I have 3 boys, my wife, and then, you know, you're busy and whatever. So I knew that there's never a perfect time, man. There's always going to be something that bothers you, or someone in their outside, people that get in your way when you want to write. But you have to keep writing through that. I mean, that's what Stephen King calls anybody who can't do that. It's called an amateur.
When my wife and the baby get up,
I mean,
I'll have fucking Stephen King come to my house and see if you're gonna get a notebook out and put like this with that little gorilla on your fucking lap. You follow what I'm saying?
No, I know, bro.
I write, but I have to beat them.
Yeah.
Like I have to get up at 5, write for 45 minutes, get up, take a shower, go back, write a little more, and then by the time they get out, boom, I'm theirs.
Right.
If I wake up and she wakes up 10 minutes after, there's no way.
Right.
I got to watch the first half hour when my wife gets the house ready and cooks breakfast. And I learned a long time ago that when you have a big, and I didn't know. That's how, at first I'm like, yeah, and I told a friend, I goes, listen, I'm going to give you some advice. When you got the kid, you got the kid. When you got the kid, you got the kid. When, she's got on the couch now. She's on the couch now.
Right.
So that's a new thing this week. I can't sit down.
Right.
Because no matter what I tell her, Mercy, get down. Mercy, get down. I got to fucking, it's 20 times a day. Right. And the next morning she wakes up and she forgets. Stephen King can't fucking write through that. I know what Stephen King's saying. Stephen King's saying if you have 3 kids, you have to go on the road, you have to work out, you have to be a husband, you got to find time for fucking writing. So if you got to stay up till 2 in the fucking morning and write, you got to fucking write. Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, he even said, I think he wrote at the laundromat. You know what I mean? When he's doing his laundry, man. I mean, because
it's quiet at the fucking laundry, man. Nobody bothers your shit. Though.
Right. Well, it's those kind of things. And we were talking about comics who write, and I know that you write, but there's some guys that I hear that are waiting for the perfect everything to align itself perfect before you can pick up your pen or your laptop, whatever. And it's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Never.
And it is what it is, man. It's like a joke. I mean, we were talking about writing jokes and stuff, and that's another thing that I think where comics make mistakes is they try to write the right joke. You know what I mean? They try to write the right joke when they write, and you can never do that either. There's no such thing as writing the right joke. I mean, you might run into writing like by accident, write one that's right, like off the page, like you write it. But anytime you write, man, you're gonna write wrong before you write
correctly. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's I think that's where comics get into a lot of trouble because they go on stage with what's wrong. Obviously, the audience is gonna give you bad feedback. A comic thinks that is bad feedback, but actually there's no such thing as bad feedback, man. The audience just tells you that's not the way to write it, rewrite it. There's no such thing as, but a comic goes, oh man, I wrote this, it didn't work. I wrote this, it didn't work. And then they hear another comic do a joke and they go, wow, look, that's the way you do the joke. And then they start doing that joke. So that's how you get into bad habits of not trusting your own self. You think that everybody else has a better joke, so you start taking, comics, those comics that take. But I mean, we were talking about this, about not succeeding, man. You literally have to go through a process of having a piece of garbage, and then having a seed and planting it and putting water and all this. You gotta go on stage, and like you were saying. You know what I'm used to? I mean, we were talking before we got on the air, and you said something that's key to success. You said, I'm okay with bombing, man. You embrace bombing.
Love it.
And bro, see, that's because you've gone to another level now, man. Your comedy is gonna it's just gonna, what you get at the results of that is gonna be yours because you bombed and then you wrote and you rewrote. And then you write, you listen to it, and then okay, maybe I'll say it this way, and finally, man, when it's done, it's your bit, man, But it really has to go, you have to strike out a bunch of times before you hit the ball, man.
How long does it take you to write a 10-minute bit?
A 10-minute bit, if I really put my heart and soul into it, it'll probably take me 4 months, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah.
So an hour would take you a year.
A year, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, about a year. But that's me like being like, you know,
writing,
obsessive.
right.
That's me being obsessive about it. You know, where I almost get psychotic. But because I think some of the comics, some of us, you know, if you were to analyze us, if there was a therapist, they would think there was something, you know, because we get obsessive, man. You wake up thinking about the bit. You know, you're like, you know, fuck, how do I write that one? Or what do I tag it to? Or what do I talk about? Or how do I make that funnier? Or this, and you know, but yeah, and another thing, you know, there's not only one way to write, man. You know, a lot of people think there's one way to write. Man, there's so many ways to write. One is you take a premise on stage, and you go up there with your, you know, with nothing, and you just start talking, and sometimes you get laughter. You get laughter out of just, you know, an idea that you had. You know, you walk up there and you go, I hate assholes, man. I ran into an asshole right now, and I'm gonna tell you something about this guy. And boom, you just start talking, and it get laughs. And that's why I say, man, that if you ever go on stage without recording yourself, you're missing out. You're missing out.
I always never recorded myself.
You never? Bro,
you know why?
What?
I can't hear my fucking voice.
Okay, you know why? Because you're listening to you, Joey. That's where you fuck up. If you listen to yourself saying, "I bought this CD," or I you know, I'm gonna check this guy out. Not you, Joey. Go outside of yourself and critique yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this guy. I just paid money for this. Now I'm gonna listen to him. Break away from. Don't have it so close to the vest. Listen to it as if you listen to a comic named Joey, and now you're really gonna be hard on yourself, bro. Talk about not liking yourself. You're gonna go, fuck, why? I should have said this, and then you stop it and you say what you should have said, and then you listen to it and you say, why the fuck am I pausing so long there? That didn't need that. I could have just kept firing, and then so you write, or I need to slow that. That guy needs to slow down right there. You know, I didn't even hear myself. So that's how you do it. So you don't get bored of yourself. So you don't go, oh fuck, I know what I said next. I know. Right after this, I said that thing about, you know, the fucking guitar or whatever. You know, that's how you keep from doing that. That's how you keep from making it stale for yourself. You critique the fuck out of yourself.
How long have you been doing stand-up for now? 23 years. And what made you start? What made you go down to the Laugh Factory and say, fuck you motherfuckers? All
right, bro. I was gonna be a cop, man. That's the truth, bro. I was gonna be an LAPD, but I got arrested, man. The day that I had an academy date, and I got a DUI, and I was, you know, and then I know what to do, and my friends were like, you should be a stand-up, and we snuck into the Comedy Store. We snuck in the back, and I remember who was that? Pauly Shore was back there. His mom would hang out with him. You know, remember those days? And then, and I went back there, and then because we would heckle comics. Me and my friends, we would go just to fuck with them. You know, it was open my fucking rookies. You know, and then so I went back there, and I got some laughs the first time, and I thought, fuck, this is easy. Fucking any monkey can do this shit. And then I went back the second time, and I fucking bombed, and then I was depressed, man. Fuck, maybe I shouldn't be a stand-up. You know, like. But no, bro. Yeah, you know. But that's how I got into it, man. Because I think comedy saved my life, bro. Because I was down, and then you're down, and you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know, and then I was a stand-up man. You know, but no, man, it's a great way. You know what? I used it. The reason it was great for me, man, was because it was I was able to use it as therapy. Because I would talk about all that shit that happened and why I didn't. Become a stand-up, you know, and then you have people put shit in your ears, right? Because I remember I would go to comedy clubs and they go, "No, you shouldn't say that. You should talk about this." And then I remember when you were a young comic and people were like club owners trying to mold you, and you go, "Well, fuck, he must know what he's talking about. I mean, you know, he owns a club, right?" And then so you go back and forth. You kind of fight with yourself. Do I write jokey jokes? Do I write about my life? And it takes you years to figure out. Fuck you, man. I'm gonna write about what I want to write about, what when I say it, or what I care about. That's all. You know?
And what were the clubs you used to go to when you first started? Like, what were the places that were around that?
Laugh Factory.
All right.
And the Comedy Store, and the Improv. You know, I remember the Improv. The Improv was, man, it it was white, man. You remember Saturday night at the Improv? I don't know if you, Joey, man, 1993, 94, man. And I remember the first time Bud had seen me, he made me a regular, man. It was like only 2-3 years into it. He made me a regular at the Improv. And my first manager was probably a cat you know, Dave Rath. You know,
that was your first manager?
I was his first client, bro. I was his very...
When I met you, you were with Bud's son.
Yeah, Ross.
Ross.
No, but Dave Rath, who went on, and I think he was all those alternative comics. Right? Sarah Silverman and all those people. But before all of them, I met him, I was doing a show called MTV Kamikaze.
Okay, I remember that show, Stan. You did that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Lee, you weren't even fucking.
No,
born.
I don't know what that is.
Bro, I was a kid, bro.
This was '93.
Yeah,
around there.
Yeah,
and at this time, comedy was huge. Comedy was on MTV. Two shows,
on TV.
Right?
Yeah.
They had 2 stand-up shows on MTV. You had Sunday morning comics on USA or something.
Right.
You had Evening at the Improv. You had something on Saturday nights and Friday nights on NBC late.
Comic Strip Live on Fox.
Oh my God, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think that isn't more prevalent now? Because you would think with all the great comedy, like in the only show, and not to shit on them, is that Comics Unleashed thing. And
that show sucks balls.
Oh, it's terrible.
And Byron Allen's a dick, dude.
Oh, is he really?
He's a bro. I'm sorry. He treated me like shit when he was on his show, and they asked me like 10 times to be on that, and I turned it down, bro. Like, I don't want to do that show. And then he did, and then I finally did it. And then they asked me, well, what credits do you want to say, or what do you want to say? And I say, hey, say that at the time I had a Comedy Central special coming, right? And then the PA comes back and tells me, well, he says he doesn't want to mention that. I go, why? Why doesn't he want to mention? I got a 1 hour special coming out. He goes, nobody's gonna watch it. That's what he tells me. He tells the PA, and I was like, you know what? Tell him that I want him to say that, man. You know, tell him that I said please to throw that out there. So and then he acts like he's this fucking rock star. Have you done that show, bro?
No, they called me.
I passed it again. I did it once. I said fuck that. I'll never do that again, bro. And then he acts like he was sitting there. I forgot what it was called, but we did it in Santa Monica in a theater, and it was called Comics.com. Remember, have you seen that one? It comes out late at night, same type of bullshit.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's called Comics.com, whatever, man. It was like 2 billion comics, and the same audience was there from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock the next day. Fucking, they looked like they were hungry and tired and dizzy. And then he's sitting in the director's chair, and bro, you would think it was like fucking big Hollywood producer, director or some shit, man. I was like, fuck this guy, man.
That guy's never said a funny fucking thing in his life.
No,
is he a comic or no?
He used to be. I never saw him perform, you know. So I remember one night they called me and they go, we're coming to the store, want to see you for Comics Unleashed. You got to be spotless clean. I go, listen, let me just, when you come on the show, you have to give us anytime I do radio and they say to me, what's your, what do you call it? What's your slip-in? What's the material?
Yeah.
So it's 7 in the morning, you want me to talk about trains?
Right.
And that's what they do on that show. You're talking about
terrible.
sport. It's terrible. And it's the worst is the comics who use it as a credit. That's the one that I'm like, dog, I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. Fuck that. No, dog. Don't embarrass me.
And there used to be like, what was the one? Premium Blend on Comedy Central. There used to be that when I was growing up. Like I think that was the first. I think that was the first place when I saw like Dane Cook, if I'm not mistaken.
He's 26.
Yeah, you're a baby.
So this will be great.
But it's just
that's the first time I saw Felicia Michaels
on Comedy Kamikaze.
And then those days you did Comedy Kamikaze, MTV Comedy Hour. That taped in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then you had it was just a different time for comedy, and I would sit there and cry and say, I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to try it, and finally I got it, you know. But it was funny, one of the first people I met when I came to LA was Willie at the 2 Rooms.
Right.
At the
Tequilas?
Tequilas.
Yeah.
That was Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And Wednesdays was
Gotham's.
Right.
Which became
Southgate.
Yeah.
But Tequila's is something different now.
Yeah,
For some reason, I drive past that place.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's a place. I'll never forget the first time I went there. There had to be 300 people.
Yeah.
On a fucking Tuesday night. at these places, and Willie was the navigator. Willie, they gave you a thing, you had to sign, they gave you $40. Willie, I'll give you an extra $5, bro.
I was supposed to give everybody drink tickets. I kept them all.
He kept them all. It was so much fucking fun. And, you think of, like you said, I've been doing comedy for 24 years, but there were certain places that really helped you.
Yeah. I took the Wayans brothers down there, bro. In the hood. I took Chris Tucker down there back in the day. And that was a ghetto-ass
rooms, man.
Hey, bro, those cholos weren't playing,
They weren't playing, dog.
Isn't it's kind of weird because you've told stories about like how there's different rooms and comics have shows. Like it's kind of it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it works, but like just because you're a comic and then now you're producing a show, like it doesn't seem like you'd be good at it.
No,
but
you're
comics
really
are
good at it.
I wasn't really producing, bro. I was
that's what they say. We're producing a show.
I would just tell a friend, go, hey, get 5 comics, bro. I'll give you $30. So the other guy was, hey man, come on, you do 10 minutes. You call a bunch of guys, and then I would just get up on stage and do, I would always stay on too long.
Do you guys recommend those shows? Because every once in a while I'll see on Facebook somebody post something like that, and like it's not. Maybe I shouldn't think
it's
this
not
way,
the comedy store or the improv.
Yeah, I say like maybe I shouldn't go there. They're gonna be bad.
Yeah, no, those are great fucking
Those are great shows.
Because those guys are headed to the comedy. Like I used to do Willie's to go to the comedy store.
Okay.
Like listen, man, let me tell you something. Willie, Rudy, Casa Latina, all these guys booked the same rooms. Then one got fired and the other guy picked it up. But all those rooms developed me. I remember when I remember like 4 or 5. About 7 years ago when we lost all those rooms.
Yeah.
I used to say, what the fuck is going on with my money? Because those rooms were an extra $300-400 a week. That's $1,600 a fucking month.
Yeah.
Going here and picking up a 50. Going here and picking up 100. Somebody's got $1.25. Somebody's got 80. Yeah. Somebody's got 75. Sebastian's got 63. Sebastian always give you 60 with 3 singles. Dog, I'll catch you with the other 2 next week. There was always something, but those things kept you alive.
Yeah.
Those rooms, listen, man, when you're a comic, the goal is to do, and I'm not kidding you, Willie, we would do 3-4 sets a night.
Yeah.
When you live in New York, you do 6 sets a night. You start at 8 and you go till 3 if you want. So it's not just one. This is what I'm saying to you. I was getting soft lately. Because, Willie, with the 5 shows I got to do on the road, Thursday through Saturday, 5 shows, I got to give it my all.
Right.
Talk to people, smoke pot, sign autographs, take pictures.
Right.
Then I got 2 podcasts at 6 in the morning. I'm trying to work out every fucking day. Now I got the wife, the kid, writing. I'm trying to write a book, Right. So at night you got to cut something out. So I said, you know what? Maybe I can handle it without the going out during the week. So I'll go out on Thursday, and everything I wrote from Sunday to Thursday, I just work it out on Thursday. So if I do an hour and a half on Thursday, nobody gives a shit. I don't like doing an hour and a half, but I try everything.
Right. But see what where you're fucking up, bro.
It's
not recording. Not
You're
recording because that man. Sometimes haven't you noticed you say a bit and the fucking bit crushed, and then you do the bit what you think is exactly the same, and it kind of dies or there's that C laugh like kind of a ha ha laugh, not a fucking laugh.
It's funny because whenever I go with him, I'll say something at the end like, "Oh, you did that bit different," and he'll be like, "I did that bit." So it's like you don't even remember the stuff because it's not the same. But like I won't remember stuff we say in the podcast. I'm gonna be like, "What podcast was that story from?" And I don't remember telling the story.
No.
I should tape myself.
Joey, if you miss, like it's exactly what Lee said, man. If you miss like a little nuance, maybe there was a little delay in between the words, and that killed it. You know what I mean? Maybe you just said it faster, but if you do not, man, you
tape on a tape recorder or your cell phone.
I know I have like a little tape recorder, man. That's about 3 inches, and and I just put it by a table next to me, and and that's my homework, man. That's actually half my writing. When people go that I'm writing, because I couldn't like to sit down and write like for 3-4 hours, I get bored. So I break in listening to the sets that I've done, and I listen to them, and man, I just did. Okay, who was there, man? I was at the John Lovitz Club on a Saturday night about 4 weeks ago. I did an hour. I fucking ate it, bro. But I knew it. I knew I was gonna eat it. I was ready for it, but I said I have to get all this stuff out so I can start working on it.
Right, that's
you
what
know
I
what
do
I mean.
sometimes.
I have to get it out.
I just go, fuck it, just to see the verbiage, just to see the look on their face, if there's even something.
Yeah.
I'd rather start it that way. There's times I will write something, like just now. I wrote, Jews aren't allergic to peanuts. To me, that's funny.
Right.
You know how long, you know how I'll put that in a fucking notebook before I go on stage? All right, it's 8/6. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the Hitler joke. I'm going to do the Cuban joke. I'm going to do the Jews don't like peanuts.
Right.
For a month, I'll get up and I'll look at these photos, but I'll miss Jews aren't allergic to peanuts. And it infuriates me.
But you know what, Kerry, man, listen, especially, you're not an open micer, bro. You're established as a comic. And the audience knows that you're a comic, man. So I think what we've earned and what I've done, man, I'll take out a little index card and I'll just look really quick and I say, hold on, guys, man. Fuck, you guys don't want to hear the whole shit you've been hearing all the time. Hold on, okay. I'll put it back and I'll go look. So, you know, because I don't want to do that set. And it's like the guys that, Joey, we know these guys, man. The ones that have done the same exact hour from beginning to end for the last 20 years.
It kills you.
You know,
it kills you.
And then I really think that's how comics end up wanting to kill themselves, man. You know, because think about it. It's like having to go up there and sing the exact like a band, exact same 3 songs every time. You get depressed, man. You go back to, you don't feel like it's real. You know, when people go, hey, you were funny, you were creative, or you get a pat on the back, or people shake your hands, you feel like a weasel, man. You feel like you're a fucking little sneak, you know, because it's the same shit you've been, you know, you really want to go, look, bro, man, I did that shit, I've been doing it for 10 years, you know. And man, how'd you come up with that? You ever do a bit you've been doing forever? How'd you come up with that?
When'd you write that?
Yeah, look at that. You know, I've had it 15 years, bro, you know. But no, I honestly, you know, going back to not, you know, having a healthy mind and not having a healthy mind, I think bombing keeps me healthy. The fact it keeps it fresh to me. You know, it's almost like I give the audience something. I'll play some of the hits, you know, and then I'll play something for me.
That's what I do. I like that too. I like that too.
And then I can see the audience, like sometimes, like you can see them, like, well, where's that going? And you want it to go somewhere, but you kind of want to stop and go, look, motherfuckers, I want it to be funny too. All right, you're not the only ones disappointed, motherfuckers. You know, I'm disappointed too. But look, I'm gonna give you something now. I'm gonna give you a cookie. All right, then you do an old joke and then they're all happy, and then you sneak in some other shit. That's right. Yeah, right. But here's Joey. Here's where I think you're missing out, because you're missing out that little step is recording it, bro. And that's, you know, that's where a lot of comics, I've heard that before too. Man, you know, I hate listening to my voice. And then
you think I sit at home and watch The Longest Yard? I can't watch myself either.
Right.
I can't watch myself either. The other night I had the remote control away from me, and The Longest Yard, my wife was going through the channel. She goes, "Uh-oh, you're making money again." And just me hearing my voice, I was like, "Get that shit off." And I don't know, and I was ready to fucking break the TV. I don't want to see I don't want to hear. Now, I thought that was a problem until about 5 years ago, and one that I had Letterman on.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the good-looking guy?
Comic?
No, just
actor?
An actor. Yeah, I forgot.
Brad Pitt?
No, the guy, whatever, Straight Street. What's that show he did when we were kids? Now I don't even know. Jesus fuck. Anyway, he was on there. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp was on there.
Right.
Johnny Depp was on there. Johnny Depp, who is a fucking beautiful man. And so he goes,
I'd fuck him.
So he goes, Letterman's talking. He goes, so what did you, after the movie, did you watch it? What did you think? And he goes, what? And Letterman goes, did you watch it? He goes, I don't watch nothing.
Yeah.
I don't watch the dailies. He goes, wait a second. What do you mean? He goes, I don't watch nothing. The last guy I want to see on stage or here is me. When I heard it, and David Letterman's like, whoa, this is bizarre. And he goes, I'm telling you, I don't watch nothing. I'm not De Niro. De Niro watches everything. Right. Look at my hand. Let's shoot it again, because my hand went up just an inch too much.
Right.
That's De Niro. When you work with De Niro, that's how he does.
No,
you know what, Joey? I didn't like your eyebrow.
Yeah.
Okay, if you watch Inside the Actors Studio, took fucking 10 hours to stab Tommy in the trunk because he didn't like the noise. He didn't like the way the noise. So had to get the right. I mean, he's just fucking nuts.
But I think this is a little different. I'll tell you why. Because when you're doing stand up versus acting, I can see that. I can see why you wouldn't want to watch yourself. I've heard a lot of actors don't want to do that. But in stand up, you're writing a script, Joey. You're writing it's your script. That you're writing for yourself. In acting, they gave you a script, and you're gonna perform it. Here, you're writing your own script. You know what I'm saying? So how are you gonna write a good script if you don't listen to it and try to move bits, or cut bits, or get ideas for other bits? I think that's a little different because you're writing your movie. You're really doing when you're on stage, you're an hour. When you go watch a movie, it's an hour. So I think if you look at it that way, that you have to have that discipline of listening to yourself, so you can write your movie. You don't want your movie to be shitty. You want your movie to be fucking to hit.
Do you guys ever think about, like, Joey, you give Willie your recordings for the week. Willie, you give Joey, and that way it's kind of like a peer review or something like that, and then you could listen to someone else and get another look at it?
No, that's hard.
That's hard.
I've done it for one guy. I'm gonna tell you something, and I don't want to mention his name. And he had a special, and it was successful. But I think if there's any way that I can work with anybody else, that other person has to be there, because we could say, stop, listen, bro, did you hear that? And he goes, no, I didn't hear nothing. Okay, let's rewind it. We rewind it and we go, boom. Did you hear that? Did you see how? Did you think you paused too long? Do you think if you just would have, or you get other ideas? Do you know what I mean? If you're talking about something, you go, oh man, you talked about, you and your wife, man. Why don't you talk about how you the same shit used to happen to your girlfriend? And then you're right. You know what I mean? So I could work that way. But
me listening and then sending it to him calling him back with notes, that don't work.
No.
Okay,
that doesn't work. And I in my mind, I know what you're saying. It's really amazing. When did you get so writing savvy in your career? What year did you get right? Did you read a book before this? I know you read a lot of books on writing, but when was the first time? What was the first book you read on comedy writing or writing?
Okay. Well, the one that really got me going was there was a lot of them. I guess Lenny Bruce's book.
That's what got me going.
That one got me and then his special, when you listen to a special in Carnegie Hall,
the black and white one.
Yeah. I have the it's audio.
Okay.
And it's he's in Carnegie Hall and he talks about missing a plane, trying to get to this gig, and what I liked about it, that he just starts talking, right? He starts talking and he goes, hey, what if it's midnight right now? What if the owner doesn't even know we're here? And he's just talking, and then it's quiet, and then somebody yells out, like, "Hey, blah blah!" Like this, like an Italian kind of guy. He yells out like, "Hey, do that bit," And he starts talking about, what do you mean that bit? He goes, that bit doesn't move me anymore. He goes, I can't do the same bit, because I got to create new stuff. And when I started reading about him, and then when I got to when I got to his last chapter, I really connected. Because when you get to his last chapter, Joey, he talks about how when he was doing was it Tonight Show, I think it was, with Jack Parr. Yeah, he talks about how he hated it. He goes, I hate doing 5 minutes because you have to be so contrived. And it's got to be joke 1, joke 2, joke 3. And he goes, I fucking hate that. I don't feel free. He goes, I'd much rather do an hour, And when I'm reading, I go, I've done many Tonight Shows, so I did the 1 hour at the time, and I connected with that. And then I realized that in order for me to write and create, because Fear of not working anymore made me write a lot, Joey. Fear of not, because after my 1 hour special on Comedy Central, the producer came up to me and said, "Hey Willie," and I was pumped up, I just had a 1 hour special. And he goes, "Hey Willie," he goes, "your special's on this date, man." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You know what's going on the following week, right?" I go, "No, what?" He goes, "Some other guy special." And I thought about that. Oh, no shit. Once my special's done, that's it. And then how many guys have we known have they've done 1 hour and then we've never heard of them again? And I didn't want that. I didn't want that I died, you know? Like, you go through that comedy death where the people don't hire you anymore, you know, because they think, oh man, oh yeah, it's that same old shit that we heard. So I think the fear of not, somebody not wanting to see me or not getting that chance again, it's what got me to write. And then I write many different ways, man. I do like 10 different things, Joey, to keep myself from getting bored. All right? I don't have one way when I go write. Like if I go to the diner, okay, one day I'll have a premise. Like right now, it happens to be assholes, man. There's a book right now called Assholes. That you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the guy who wrote it is got like a degree from Harvard or look it up, man. Find the guy. It's called Assholes, and he talks about how people become assholes, and so a lot of it has to do with entitlement, right? People become entitled when they're little. Oh, you're special, you know. You're so people grow up with this idea thinking they're special when in reality they're fucking not, man. We're all in this earth trying to coexist with each other and be thoughtful of one of another. The fact that your parents put it in your head that you're special is a fucking lie, right? So I'm writing this thing about assholes, man. Did you find the book?
By Aaron James?
Absolutely. There's the book, man, by Aaron James. And so what I'll do is, since I'm writing about assholes, I'll buy a book. I'm gonna buy a book. This guy wrote a great book about assholes. So I'm there and I'll read 20 minutes on what he has to say about assholes, right? So there goes 20 minutes. So because I have ADD, man. Now, okay, I read. And then another 30, 40 minutes, I'll write a premise. How many assholes have I ran into in my life? And I'll write sentences 1 through 20. You know what I mean? This guy was an asshole. I remember when I was a kid. I had an uncle that was a dick. You know what I mean? And I keep writing, you know, Byron Allen. I don't know, you know. I'll write like people who, and now I have 20 sentences. And I leave that alone, right? And then, hey, I'll put 30, 40 minutes into listening to an old set that I have in my recording. And then I'll listen to, and then that's how I keep from getting fucking bored, bro.
See, when I first started, I was the type of guy that would sit with a notebook at a fucking coffee shop.
Right.
Fucking 8 hours with the pencil in your mouth, writing one word at a time. And for years, I got discouraged.
Right. Well, it's hard to do it that way.
It's very hard.
Were you trying to write funny, Joey? Were you actually trying to? But were you, when you put the the pen to the paper, were you trying to create funny?
I don't know what the fuck I was creating. I was creating a premise.
Yeah.
But what I realized 7 or 8 years ago was that I put my comedy notebook here. I took another notebook where I just wrote.
Yeah.
Every day was a chapter in Joey Diaz's life. And brother, by exercising this, oh fuck, I didn't write this.
Right.
Oh, in the 3rd grade. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah. It's a muscle.
It's a muscle. And that's really helped me. That's something that I had to learn on my own because I got sick and tired of, oh my God, there's cocaine in this pen. You know what I'm saying? I got sick and fucking tired of tasting that fucking pen at a coffee shop and drinking 3 fucking coffees, but I knew the importance of sitting down. I think it was, wasn't it Stephen King on writing? He said, you have to sit down.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the end of the 2 hours that something comes up, but sit down. Don't worry about it. Leave 2 hours, sit down. Yeah. And that's what I've done, and it's helped me. But now I got to get the fuck out of the house. I got to get out at night. Like now I'm switching this whole thing around for the fucking winter. If I want to shoot a special this December, I got like 13 minutes towards a special.
Bro, listen, man. I've seen you. I wanted to go. First of all, I've seen you on the road with working with you. And there's something, man. Joey's the only guy, and I don't know where I got the balls to do this, man. 'Cause I'm surprised he didn't fucking grab me and fucking shove me, into a wall. But we were working Texas, and this is like 10 years ago. It could have been longer. And I said, Joey, man, you mind not being so dirty, And the reason why I said that, and I've told you, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the balls, man, to follow him. I couldn't follow Joey. Joey was just like a beast. And then I used to try to go up there, and one time I just couldn't do it. And then That's the only time, and I felt like such a scumbag asking you that years later we're at a club and and I called him over and I say, hey Joey, do you remember like about 8 years ago? And man, I apologize for that. I never forgot it, and it bothered me forever because I don't do that. I don't do that to anybody, man. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't do that bit. I don't give a fuck. But Joey, come on. But I know you've heard that. Okay, I had the balls to be honest with you and confront you and apologize. But come on, bro. You know a lot of comics have told you that. That's it. That when if they were gonna follow you or whatever, they would say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the only one. But I'm sure you've had other guys go, hey, Joey, can you tone it down a little bit?
I had a couple of guys do it.
See?
And I got to be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Between you and me, as brothers, I don't remember. I was probably in a cocaine haze. I don't remember you telling me, but I wasn't. You come up to me 15 times and go, be clean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be clean.
Yeah, no, why you?
I'm going to tame it down for you a little bit. You're my brother.
Yeah.
There's been a couple people have done it to me, and I lost all respect for them.
No, I get it, bro.
Because they weren't, and then the most guy was Rocky Laporte.
Oh.
Rocky Laporte, I worked with him at the Dallas Improv and one time in Rascals, and it was just every time I came in the next night, somebody pulled me aside and said, hey, he don't want you to improvise.
Oh.
Hey, he don't want you to curse.
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't want you to. It was a horror week till I finally had to go up to him and go, let's switch checks.
You told me?
Yeah, let's switch checks. What are you talking about? Let's switch checks, bro. Because you don't deserve the check you get.
All right.
How much do you guys think about that? Because you're trying to make money. You're doing it as a career. So part of you has to make the audience, has to do something that the audience will like. But you also can't only, I'm assuming you can't only do something to pander to them, because if, let's say, Joey, if you were...
The first time you pander in this business, you lost. It's over for you.
Okay.
The first time you pander in this business, it's over for you. I was watching something the other night. The fuck was I watching? Oh! I was reading Sam Kinnison's book on the plane, Brother Sam, where he went after... He did Saturday Night Live. He was doing the thing. He went to the rehearsal. He did 2 jokes. They called him in the room, and they said, don't do those 2 jokes. And he said, okay. And when he walked out, his brother goes, you're not going to do them? He goes, fuck them. And he did the 2 jokes. They banned him for life. Tortikov stuck up for him, took the ban out, and made him the host of Saturday Night Live 2 months later. The most interesting story I heard, Kevin Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Kevin Fitzgerald in Denver, the veterinarian, was on stage one night doing a fucking joke about marijuana. And when he got off, a guy came up to him and said, Mr. Hicks doesn't want you doing that joke tomorrow night. Tomorrow night came. He did it. Mr. Hicks signed him up and took him on the road for 2 years. That's a true story. You follow me? Any comic knows. I've lost work, I've lost work over it, whatever. I wasn't designed to be there, so it's fine. That's how I look at it in my mind. One thing I want to touch to Willie about, I've always loved you, Willie, and I love you dearly. I'm very lonely out here at times, but I'm lonely for men. I'm lonely for, I got Lee under my wing now, so he'll make it, but Lee knows what I'm talking about. I'm short of, in L.A. in the comedy scene, we have a shortness of men. We have comics, we have male comedians who are hysterical, and then when you see them, they act like cunts at the comedy clubs because they probably got a special or whatever. But in this field, we have a shortness of men because a real man wouldn't work in comedy. And you're looking at me going, Joey, but Bill Burr and men who look at each other and what they say they mean, and what they mean they say, and when they come to you and they talk to you. As a man, you have to respect them because that's how they talk to you. We're in a business that's, it's very faggy, it's very fucking hypocritical. The people that you comics love, oh my God, they're a bunch of fucking hypocrites and they don't have balls. They've lost their balls. When I see a comic I knew 10 years ago and he has a little success and he won't talk to me now, he lost his balls. I threaten his fucking well-being. That's what you're telling me. Guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to fuck with you. My natural instincts are going to fuck with you. Because you're threatened by you understand me? You're too worried about your money. we were friends. We drove to open mics together. Right? Yeah. You ever have guys you drove to open mics together, and all of a sudden they get a TV show and you see them and they don't look at you? Yeah. You threaten them as a human being. One thing about Willie, I can name 3 comics. Out of all the fucking assholes you guys watch, I can name Willie and maybe one other guy that were men. When I say men, and for years while I was here, I wasn't a man because the cocaine had taken my balls away. Because God forbid I would make a stink and not be able to go home and smell cocaine. But after Marilyn died, before she died, I had a long talk with myself and I got my balls back. And part of the thing that got me through the cocaine, Willie, you know how bad I was, was that I had to become a man again. And the first night I became a man was when I went to the Comedy Store and I went after Jeff Valdez. That was my night to make a manhood comeback. That was and a lot of people were mad at me for that. A lot of people won't do business with me for that. Willie, a lot of people have taken me off the chart. Neil didn't like me. That's why when Montoya called me again, I don't want to do nothing for him because Neil didn't like me because of that. Fuck you. I don't want to do business with you either, you fucking cunt. Right. I don't want to do business with you either. I was sticking up for a friend. Right. I was sticking up for a friend, and I was sticking up for, in my cultural thing, that he had insulted us. When a Jew comes to me and says he wants to help me, I'm not insulting you, Lee. I'm just talking about a general manager or a general agent. When an Irish guy, so nobody gets insulted, when an Irish guy comes to me and he says he wants to do something, and I'm using this on the other side also, Lee, if a Cuban guy comes to you and proposes a deal to you and the deal goes sour, it's sour. But when a Jew comes to you and fucks you in the ass, it hurts a little more. Okay? It hurts.
Why?
Because he's a fucking Jew, and you're supposed to be brothers. He's supposed to be looking out for you. When I went after Jeff Valdez, I felt he wasn't looking out after us. He wasn't looking out after us. We never really had a voice. Every time a Latin comic gets a little bit of a voice, they lose it. Because God forbid something happens to them. They forget who the fuck they are. Yeah. And I was sick and tired of it. Yeah. Somebody had to say something to this motherfucker. And I saw him at the church. And I would kill him at the church. But my Catholicism was too strong. I got in my car. I was going to karate. And Kempo karate then. I went to Kempo.
Hey, I went with you. I saw you at a class.
See? So I was Taekwondo on Sunset. With his son. This is how long ago this was. One thing I've always admired about you, Willie, that unlike the rest of these fucking cunts in this comedy game, you have always been a man. You stuck to your word, what you feel you believe. I mean, let's get it out of the way. You told fucking Mitzi Shore, hey, what the fuck, look at me, and you were banned from the comedy. Yeah. Let's say, everybody knows, Willie, we'll talk about it on here. Yeah. You've always fought for yourself. You know that you've always had to stick up for yourself. Like me, I don't have a voice. Yeah. The podcast has done well, and the jokes, and people come to the shows now. But as far as, everything I've gotten, I've had a fucking Claude, in this town, if, and I'm just using his name. Let's say Judah Freeland. Judah Freeland gets the longest yard. They got billboards, people taking them out to dinner, the agents. Nobody did nothing. And I got that movie from scratch. I went in my coked up mind. I put a helmet on and a fucking football uniform that was 2 sizes too small. I used American ingenuity, something that these fucking cunts don't respect anymore because nobody does that shit. I went to Vermont 2 years ago. I was going to Kung Fu with the black guys, and it's a homeless area. And a lot of homeless people live there. Yeah. And as I got out of the car and I was walking to Kung Fu, I looked at the corner where a homeless guy used to live. He used to have his pictures there of his family. I'm not trying to be funny. Yeah. In the corner, there was a Subway sandwich pointed upward. It was a 12-inch, but it was a 6-inch. And I looked at it and I go, bro, he's ballsy with all these homeless people there. But if you look close, there was a little piece of shit in front of the sandwich. He had taken a piece of shit in front of the sandwich. That's American ingenuity, bro. That's American ingenuity. You understand me? That's what you need to do to survive in this world. Yeah. That's what a lot of people do not have. They don't have that thought that, you know what? Willie doesn't want to see me for a movie. Guess what? I'm better than Willie. I'm going to fucking show him. Yeah. And I put they told me where they wanted us these star names. We got Tony Saragusa and Big Pussy. You know what? They're actors. Yeah. I'm funny. I've done halftime of a Buffalo Sabre game. I've earned my right. I followed Paul Mooney for fucking 2 years. Right. I've earned who the fuck I am. And I believed in what I believed in, and I got it. That's ingenuity. You know what I'm saying?
It's balls, man. And I think who would want to hear this is any young comics thinking of coming to LA or New York. You gotta have, and we say, and I know I think some people misinterpret what you say, balls, because balls, any monkey can have balls. They're all in jail. We're talking about mental balls. Mental balls. The balls that what keeps you getting up in the morning and saying, fuck it. Today, it's going to get better. Today, I'm going to write a better
bit. How many motherfuckers you see in L.A. that was stars, Willie? Yeah. That went to Montreal and got $6 million. And Variety wrote an article about them. They're gone, dog. Yeah. I remember one kid came here. He had to follow Dice one night at the store. You could hear the crack. His managers were there. You know when the managers show up? When 4 guys show up? Oh, my God. It's so exciting. And your client fucking dies. That motherfucker walked. He was one of those good-looking dudes that comes to town with 6 minutes, and they give him $500,000. Then they got him up at the store, and by mistake, because you don't bring those little faggots to the fucking store. You bring those little fruitcakes to the Improv or the Laugh Factory. You don't bring those fucking faggots to the store. They put that little motherfucker behind Dice. You could hear his spine cracking from the fucking 20 feet away. You know, that's the fucking store. You know, but it's you're right. It's mental balls. It's when I wake up in the morning. It's whatever I write when I get up. When I go in the shower and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the store tonight. Yeah. Willie's fucking the podcast. Fuck that. I got the biggest dick in this fucking room. You know what I'm saying? That's mental balls. I slept in a car, Willie. My car got towed. My apartment got towed. And then I would sneak in and take shits and showers at Ralphie May's house. Or Josh Wool's house, or, you know, what kept you out here, Willie? What kept you getting up every morning, Willie?
Man, I grew up poor, bro. I mean, I guess, and for me, you know, I've heard, I saw a good interview with Sugar Ray Leonard, and they asked Sugar Ray Leonard, hey, how come, you know, none of your kids boxed? You know, how come you didn't, would you like any of your kids to have been boxers? And he goes, no, man. And he said, you know why? Because to be a boxer, you got to be hungry. You gotta know a hunger that regular people don't know about. And you and me, I mean, when I was a kid, man, I was born in Mexico, bro. You're right. We came here when I was 5. I used to slang oranges in East LA when I know what it is to go to bed hungry. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to be hungry, man. I don't want to be like you know that hunger when you're a kid. And I think that hunger in your belly, it gives you mental balls not to quit, you know. And it's funny because I have 2 teenage sons and they're baseball guys. I want them to have that hunger. They can't have that hunger that I had, but they can have a little bit of it. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, come on, man. No one's gonna give you shit, bro. You gotta go get it yourself. They're like, Dad, can I get $20 for gas? You know what I mean? I mean, they're still tough. They still have, but not that fucking hunger, bro. Where you hear like that, you know, the things that make us come from nothing. You know, that's what keeps me.
How was your father, Willie?
No, well, my mom left him when I was 6, 6.
Have you seen him?
No, he died, man. So, he died. So I just grew up with a mom in L.A.
And a single tough mom.
Yeah, single.
Yeah, fucking man.
She's fucking crazy.
She's
bro.
still
I remember,
with you?
yeah. Man, I remember getting my ass kicked when I was 12, and I had a little Asian friend, and he went and we were like 2 blocks from my house, and he ran over there and he told my mom, hey, they're beating up your son. And she told, his name was Simon Lee. And she told Simon, well, tell them to hurry up and kick his ass because I got to be at work in a half hour. So he ran back and said, Willie's mom said to hurry up so he can get home. And those motherfuckers kept me there like another, you know, however long it was, long enough for her to walk down. And she slapped all these little motherfuckers around and then slapped me around. And she goes, motherfucker, she's yelling at them, hey, didn't I tell you to hurry up and kick his ass? And she grabbed me by my hair and fucking pushing me home, you know. And, you know, hey, didn't worry about whether I won, whether I lost, no, hey, I told him to let you go and fucking, you know, I got to go to work. So that's the kind of mom
The reason why I asked you about your father is one thing I know about you, you're a great comic, but you're also a great father.
I think that comes from not having a dad,
that's
bro.
Why I knew something was fucking up.
You know,
because I told everybody, I remember telling people, you know, when I was a kid, Mr. Vanacek was the father in my neighborhood. He was a big father. And whenever you saw Mr. Vanacek and his son Richie, the guy I hung out with, it was tremendous. Like Richie would have to stand straight, hands on. I'm not kidding you. Hands on the side. You couldn't talk unless you were spoken to. You know, and the first time I met your boys, they were...
Oh, yeah, they were like 10 and 8. They were
jiu-jitsu.
You saw them for jiu-jitsu. You took them to Ninth Planet with Eddie...
10th Planet with Eddie Bravo.
The 10th Planet. Yeah.
And I knew him even before that. But the first time I saw them, they were both at attention. And when I walked up to Willie and hugged them, Willie said, "This is Mr. Diaz. Shake their hand." And in Spanish, that's big. When your mother says, "Da la mano." Da la mano como un hombre. That's how moms treat you. Da la mano. No hay abrazo. You know, give them your hand. And they both put their hand up. They were like quiet, you know, and they both looked at me. "Hi, Mr. Diaz." And I left there fucking impressed as fuck. I was like, fucking Willie's a great comic. But he's a great dad because Willie knows. Willie knows you got to stay on top of your fucking kids.
You got to be respectful, man. You got to be respectful. I mean, respect goes along. Respectful, gratitude. You know, your word. You know, I mean, it sounds corny. You know, Scarface said it years ago, and it might sound corny, but people that grew up in the hood, where they actually know, like, people that died or have cousins that have died or been killed, and or you know what I mean. You know that you just being an honest dude can keep you from any of that shit. Just, you know what I mean? Just, you know, I know guys that have done drugs forever, but they know, okay, I bought this much drugs, I got to pay that motherfucker back. And those are the ones that are still alive 25, 30 years later. The guys that died, that we know that got they murdered, it was like, well, what happened? I mean, he owed them $30. Right? He owed that guy $10. So I tell my that and that relates to now with my kids. It's funny, man. I got kicked out of the punchlines forever. They don't let me back, bro. All right? And I was there for a long time. I was there at the punchlines. I was at the Sacramento one. I was at the what's that? The other one in San Francisco. Like I was welcomed, man. And then 3 years ago, I was working on New Year's with a comedian named Al Madrigal, right? And he was we were co-headlining, but he went on first, right? And then I went on after. And they had it was New Year's, right? We're co-headlining. So he had a DJ. There was a DJ on the side because when it was New Year's, the DJ was gonna play music, right? So there's this little kid, man. The kid had to be like between 19 and 21 years old, the DJ. And you could tell the kid was just so happy to be there. The place was packed. And Al Madrigal gets up there and he goes, "Hey, man, before I start this comedy, he called him you. He didn't say like, hey, bro, nothing. So you have to leave." And I could see the kid's head, like his smile went away. And he goes, "You have to get out." And then the kid's like confused. And he goes, I'm telling everybody here right now. And he got in this high horse. I was like, what the fuck, bro? I thought you were, you know, one of the people, you know, like a regular dude. He goes, I will not start this. And then he goes, just want everybody here to know that I will not start this show until you leave. You have to leave, then I'll start. So I'm back there with my wife. You know, me and my wife, I was trying to get her back at the time. We had all those problems. And I looked and I said, you see what I mean? Because Al Madrigal is Mexican, right? But he grew up very rich and proper and doesn't know anything about the hood, right? And I get it. Not everybody has to be from the hood. But I told my wife, and one of the reasons me and my wife had broken up was because she wanted them just on the west side of like you know, the schools, and she had Willie playing violin on this side, and the other one was playing piano, and I would take them to boxing in South Central, man. You know what I mean? And my wife was like, you know, you're crazy. You know, I don't like the way you're raising the boys. And I says, I don't want them to be socially retarded, man. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be socially. I want them to be able to hang out with the white guys, the Jewish guys over here. You know, how you doing? You know, to be able to articulate. But at the same time, if they're, you know, with some homies, they don't act like they're fucking lost. They're like, hey, what's up, bro?
They get two educations.
Yeah,
it's two educations.
I wanted both, and they have both, man. Because I've seen it. I've seen them around homies, and they don't drop. You know, they're the same way, same love, same hug. Same way they'll talk to, you know, a Jeffrey. You know what I mean? For whatever. I'm just saying, not that all guys are named Jeffrey. I hate to be fucking stereotypical like that. But you know, and then, so I told my wife, I go, you see what I'm talking about? See on that comedian, he only saw one side of the street, man. You know, look how bad, look at the kid. Because the kid was standing like 20 feet from us. So I go on stage after he did his hour. I go on stage and I go, hey, kid, come back up here. Come on, what's your favorite record, man? What the fuck do you like to play? And play your favorite record, and I'm going to sit here and bring me a beer. Because while you're playing your favorite record, I'm going to sip on my beer. Because if anybody has ever been to a Mexican wedding or a quinceañera, the DJ is always by the stage. And the crowd went fucking nuts, man. Right? They're fucking, yeah, because I brought the kid back. And then I have the microphone, and I'm talking to my wife back there. And I go, hey, babe, honey, you see what I'm talking about? I don't want my kids to grow up socially retarded, man. And then El Madrigal got the mic from the back. And he goes, who's socially retarded? Because I think you're retarded. And he goes, hey, bro. I go, listen, man. And in my head, I was thinking, I wasn't even thinking of him. I was thinking of my relationship with my wife. You see? And it was kind of collateral damage. You know, and I was going to apologize to him afterwards. And I did. When it was all said and done, I get it. He turned off the mic on me. He did some, but the audience still loved me, bro. You know what I mean? I was hitting him, bro. So I was done, and I went back there, and I said, hey, Maldred, can we talk? And we talked like men, right? Like you say, bro. And this has happened to me a lot with these fucking assholes in Hollywood. They're so fucking phony. I said, Al, look in my eyes. I'm apologizing to you, bro. There's a lot of things going on. At the time, my wife was leaving me, man. I go, but I didn't have the time to explain to him the whole fucking story. I just had time to say, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Completely out of line, man. Can we shake hands? And he goes, Willie, the fact that you're apologizing and this and that, you know, that means a lot to me, man. And I go, well, the fact that you accept my apology means a lot to me, man. So we shook hands, really nice. I felt forgiven, bro. I felt forgiven. I felt forgiven. And then 3 days later, I get a call from my agent. They never want you at the punchlines again because El Madrigal said that you threatened him. And I go, we shook hands. We hugged. That motherfucker, bro. But you know what? I don't hold grudges because I used to. You know, let it be. You've seen me in action. When I had another problem with another comic in front of you. I went up to the guy and I said, hey, bro.
I've seen that. You put your hand out like a man.
I said, hey,
and
man.
He said, I don't want to shake your hand. Okay, go fuck yourself then. Now, you know, if the world is ending and you're next to me, I'm going to punch you in the fucking head again. Just out of principle. No, dog, I have a big problem with a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
I have a big problem. Their attitudes, they think like they walk on water. And we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And I had the same problem on sets. And I've straightened people out on sets, too. I've taken, you know, I go on sets, there's no food. I pay fucking $2,000 a year to SAG for fucking, you better bring some fucking food here. Right. You know, I don't give a fuck. Where's the apples, bitch? Right. I go there on a Sunday, you got crackers and apple juice. That don't cut it. So I've made scenes and people don't want to hire me. And I haven't made scenes. I've tried to talk to people as a man because that's how I was raised. Can I talk to you for a second, Lee? Come over here. Well, you got to get it together. Whatever. No. You know, in this town, it gets flipped around.
You know what, man? I think what makes a lot of these guys such weasels, man. I think a lot of them do show up to LA as solid guys.
Yes,
but
yes. They sell their soul.
But I think
they sell their soul.
The game, the managers and the agents, and they start realizing, hey, fuck, if I don't get ahead of that guy somehow, some way, I'm not gonna make it. You know. So they start being sneaky, and I think what it does is it starts watering itself, and then before you know it, it's
just your lifestyle. You're just a
fucking asshole.
You're just a fucking you know. And I'm to the point in my life where I could look at somebody and go, look at that fucking fake motherfucker, and I'll play him out too. Whatever. I'll wait for him to, you know. And you know, whenever you go to auditions, you always see people, Joey Diaz, oh my God, you're so fucking funny. Yeah, but you book a room, you never call me. And they look at you. Oh, but. Get the fuck away from me. Go over there.
Do you guys think it's money? Because it's not every rich person, but some of the worst tips I ever got as a server were from people with a black card, the American Express black card. They have to spend $100,000 a year on, and I got stiffed by one of them. And it's not all of them because there are some great rich people who tip well, but to me, in my experience working retail, the richer they are, the more rude they are. Or they don't tip as well.
They're entitled.
Go read that book, asshole.
They're entitled.
How
many times I go somewhere the other day and there's a lady with the fucking with the Land Rover, with the yoga tights, and giving orders at the coffee shop. Giving orders. Like take this off the thing, and then the girl said something. The redhead, the cute redhead said, Marie T said something. She goes, no, we don't do that here. Well, all right, get the fuck out. You know, when I look at it, I go, you know whose fault that is? The husband. Because the husband knows she's a fucking cunt. And he sicks her out in society with that fucking Land Rover and those things. Instead of making that fucking cunt get a job. You know, I see it. I go to the park every afternoon. I got an 18-month-old. Let me tell you something. Half that park in Studio City is Mexican fucking maids with their kids. Let me tell you something. My mother was a fucking drug addict. My mother owned a bar. She drank. She ran a bookie operation. She always had time to take me to the fucking park. Okay? She always had time to take me to go see the Harlem Globetrotters. My mom would make me fucking fight at the park like Willie's mom. I have a single mom. I got beat up. My mom took me to the park. What are you doing in your life that's so spectacular that you can't take your child to the fucking park? What do you do? What do you do?
That's the bullshit.
Hang out with your friends and play fucking cards? Now, don't come crying to me when you're like, you go to the park? I go to the park and today I was telling my wife, I could pick out the faggots in the park. I could pick out the kids that are going to be faggots. You can see them. There's one kid that was there today with green socks that every time they go to he's 6 with a cell phone. With a cell phone, calling people at the park.
And you don't mean gay, I don't think. I think you mean like a jerk.
Half of them, I seen 2 today that fucking same-sex marriage is in their future. They were playing on the swing. Those 2 little faggots, they were like 6. You could tell they're fucking going to be sucking each other's dicks. You can see. You don't need a fucking genius. Those other kids that are walking around there with those Mexican parents, they're probably having a good time.
But you know what? I got to defend the I'm gonna tell you something. In the last 10 years, I've had a rebirth.
Yes, you have.
And not in the Jesus Christian way, bro. Just as a.
You read a book. You read a couple books.
I got my head out of my ass. But you know, it's funny. And I know what you're trying to say, Lee, because we know Joey, right? And as far as it was these faggots and this and that, I remember, bro, going back in my life, literally, a lot of the guys, man. And if I'm true to myself, I would have never said this 10 years ago, man. But some of the guys that gave me the most beautiful life lessons, man, about life were homosexuals.
No, and they gave me lessons too about life.
I know you're not like that, but I can see somebody not understanding.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it like that.
You're just fucking around.
I'm seeing these fucking kids, and you could tell they're gonna get their lunch money taken. You could tell I could tell their future. Just by the way they're acting at 5.
Raised entitled.
They're raised entitled.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I was raised to take those kids' fucking lunch money. Even though my family had money. Just for being weak. Just for acting like that. Like you got to shake them down.
They're going to be weasels. They're going
to be fucking weak.
They're going to be agents. They're going to be agents.
And you look at these kids and you can see what their and their moms are at the park, the dads. Then they look at my daughter, who's got both her mom, because I go with my wife every day to the fucking park for 2 hours. I'm like Willie. I know that either you could pay me now or you could pay me later. If you don't take care of your kid now, you're going to have problems later. I have a friend, Steve Arilla's got 2 daughters, never gave him a problem. Steve does everything with those girls. He does everything with those girls. You know, I know when I became bad. Those 2 hours that my mom wouldn't come from the bar from 3 to 5, right. You can't give a kid those 2 hours from 3 to 5. Willie didn't give those kids to. He sat there while they did homework, then they took them to do activities. There's things you have to do with your children. And the point that I'm saying to you is that a lot of comics, we go on the road.
Yeah.
We do fucked up shit on the road. We get our dick sucked, whatever. We get a chick pregnant, whatever the fuck. And if you look at, there's got to be a 40% rate of divorce in comedians because of that week. We leave for the week and stuff.
It's hard, man. It's fucking hard. For you young comics out there that are saying, man, I can't wait to be on the road. If you're an open micer right now and you're saying things like, man, I can't wait to get on the road, I'm going to tell you something. Man, you do not find out who you are, especially when you're a young comic, you're a young person, and you're working somewhere a week by yourself. And all those people that come say hi to you and everything, there's no real connection. Like, there's no foundation, you know what I mean? Somebody that you've known for a long time. So talk about all that loneliness that starts kicking in, right, bro? Like, when you're a young comic, when you're older, you're fucking, wait a minute. Hey, babe, yeah, hold on. I'm reading this book. I'll call you back. Or I got to go do this. But when you're young, man, I remember I was like, I didn't know what to do with myself, man. I was out there, I was like twiddling my thumbs in the fucking in the condos that they put you up, and you just fucking start thinking crazy shit like, is this it? What's gonna happen in my life? What if I don't make it? You start thinking all kinds of crazy, psychotic shit. But
It's a weird life. No, Willie, I wanted to get you on the show because out of all the comics I'm out there with, you're one of the ones that I always like. I said, when I saw that Showtime special, I taped it. It was coming on, and one day I said, give me a... Listen, Willie, and you got to believe this about me. When I see somebody, before I leave the house at night, I always check Leno, Letterman, and somebody else, Craig Ferguson, just to see who's on. The other night I left and Maj Jabrani was on. I got to tell you something from my heart as a comedian. Even if I don't like you as a human being, when I see that you're on a TV show, Kimmel, I watch you. Right. And I want you to make me laugh. I sit there, like you say, and I distance myself as a comedian, and I can't wait for somebody to make me laugh. Those Montoya specials, you put them on, the fucking one with, who's Tom Arnold? He's up there talking. You could tell they're not laughing. You hear all this laughter, and everybody's sitting still. Okay? Nobody's banging their legs. No, I don't want to see that shit. When I put Willie's special on one night, it was like a Sunday night, 10:30. I was going through my DVR. Ooh, Willie Barcena. The first 8 minutes, I was blown away. Like the material, the tags. I don't know what the fuck he was saying. Who knows? I was so excited. You know, every night I go home and they have this fucking shit on Showtime. The other one, the Punch Drunk, the one they shoot at the Ice House. You're waiting. You want to laugh. I don't care who the fuck it is. There was somebody on, a friend of ours that was on. I watched. He had a half-hour special. I watched Spanish Kid. The first joke he did was so bad I had to turn it off. First joke, I had to turn it off. With you, I had to turn it off because I was tired. You know, because when I get an hour special, if it's really good, I break it in half so I can think about it. Right. I had to watch yours 3 fucking times, and then I called you. You remember I called you. And I said, I'm not bullshitting you. I watched it. I wish in my 20 years I could write as good as this kid.
What's the name of it? Because people want to watch it.
I Gotta Be Honest is the one.
Okay.
And Truth Hurts is the other.
Okay.
That's all, and I couldn't tell which one they're on. Watch both of them.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? If you're an up-and-coming comic, watch it. If you're some guy at home, sitting at home, thinking, oh, my God, Louis C.K. is so funny, all these fucking strokes are so funny, watch Willie Barcena.
Well, it's. I got to be honest. I got one, that's the latest one. Deal With It was like 4 years ago. Deal With It 4 or 5 years ago with Comedy Central. The ones Joey's talking about is I got to be honest. The Truth Hurts is we just shot this about 4 months ago in Texas. So that they're working on right now. They're putting that one together. But no, man, I appreciate that, Joey. I mean, I don't know if you remember what you told me, bro, but you go, Willie, hey, Willie, cocksucker, I saw your special. He goes, if you were white, you'd be famous. I think told me.
You know, it was the jokes, the timing, the tags, the smile on your face, the delivery. And now I see it. Now you just told us the secrets. It's a tape recorder.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It really is a tape recorder. Oh, Lee, you got a new job, cocksucker.
Oh, yeah.
Tape recorder tomorrow morning.
How often do you think about that? Because Joey told you before we started that I'm dating a Mexican girl. And every once in a while, she'll say something where it's like right now she's doing interviews for law firms. Okay. And she's finding it harder being Mexican. And some people are just bringing her in because they have affirmative action stuff. And then she doesn't complain, but it seems to be on her mind. Yeah. How often is that? Like, does it?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly. You know, listen, it's been a battle for me. I'm sure for Joey too, having because you listen to Joey, and you can listen to him, 20 hours, and he doesn't have to say anything reference to Latinos. He's just a human being, man. And I know that he's, that I'm sure that it's come to like a hurdle, where he's like, hey man, don't forget the Diaz, man. Just think about who I am as a person. That's the hurdle that I have because I'm a lot darker than Joey, man. You know what I mean? You could put me out there and I'll get lost in fucking East LA as like where's Waldo as far as like the illegals, right? But for me, being a guy that I want to write, being a guy that loves Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks, and those, and George Carlin, those are the guys that I love. Those Hispanic guys that are out there, I think they're cute. I think their comedy's cute. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's cute, man. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't like, oh fuck yeah, man, I remember that shit. I remember when, like when I wrote about my wife leaving me, man, I made that shit and I was fucking hurting the day she actually had happened, but I fucking made it funny, Well,
that's the magic of a comedian. That's what a comedian does. He could take a fucking story about 20 Puerto Ricans getting shot and you should be laughing. You take your pain and you flip it. A good comedian like Willie, not unlike me.
No,
like
you're
Willie.
Great. You're fucking great,
okay,
Joey.
You get laughter, but no. I'm gonna give you the comparisons. When I saw Richard Jeni, I learned something from Richard Jeni. Let me tell you what I learned from Richard Jeni. That when most comics are on stage and a waitress comes, you go, hey, hi, let me get a Jack and Coke, Willie. Let me get a beer, and you're looking good tonight. When Richard Jeni used to be on stage, and I used to watch him, people go, let me get a tequila on the rocks. They wouldn't take their eyes off him. Okay? Right. I make you laugh. Listen, hold on. I make you laugh. That's something completely different. A good comic, like that special that I saw that night, you made me laugh and you made me think. You have to resonate. You're right. I want you to remind me of something that hits home. I don't talk Latin shit on stage because I don't live a Latin lifestyle. It's in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I wake up in the morning, I remember who the fuck I am. It's in my fucking heart. Right. After 15, my Latin connection was disappeared. My world shattered when my mother died. But I always kept speaking Spanish. Right. I always knew I always kept it. When I go to a fucking restaurant, well, who's the people I talk to?
Busboy.
Busboy. You get the busboy, you own the restaurant. You follow me? Right. If you see a busboy, you go, primo, ven acá mi mano. And he comes over, you give him a fin, and you go, keep this motherfucker hopping with bread and water. That guy feels so good that you talk to him. Most people go to a restaurant, they don't talk to the busboy. When I go to a restaurant, I talk to the busboy. Right. I know what it's like to be a busboy. I don't want to talk to the maitre d'. I have friends that sell Coke at Spagos. They're Mexicans, cooks.
Right.
And I always ask them, who was the best person who ever came into Spagos? And the guy always says Sidney Poitier, because the first thing he does when he gets in there, he walks into the kitchen, he talks to the Mexican cooks, and they feel like fucking God. Everybody else insults. I used to do a podcast with Felicia Michaels, and the lady who takes care of the house, Juana, is a Mexican woman who now takes care of my little daughter 3 days a week. And I became friends with Juana because I always made sure I said hello to Juana, because I'd see how people treated Juana. 10 people would walk into Felicia's house and wouldn't say hello to Juana. Right. That's my Spanish side. I know what it's like when I came off that plane from Cuba. I know what it was like to feel insecure. I don't know what it was like to sit in the back of that class, in a Jewish classroom in 2 PS 166. But I wasn't mad at them. I could look you in the eye, Willie, and I could look you in the eye and tell you that nothing's ever been shorted for me from being Spanish. Right. It's being shorted for me from my own shortcomings. Because I'm dirty, because I threatened Jeff Valdez, because I did coke. Right. The things that got, and the same thing got taken away from you because of stupidity, because you stood up for who you were. Right. We had a very interesting conversation here Monday. Lee went to the movie theater, and some dude was fucking with popcorn, and Lee wanted to say something, and he didn't have the heart to say it. I go, Lee, your life doesn't start till you stick up for yourself, in more ways than one.
Yeah, man.
We're family. We're all family. Yeah. We fuck around, but I'm talking about a stranger. You don't have to be a gorilla. No. You have to have balls mentally. Like he said, I don't even have balls mentally. I'm a gorilla. Today some guy cut me off and then started doing 20 miles an hour. I called him at the light and I called him a bald-headed fucking cocksucker faggot. And he just looked at me stone-faced because nobody talks to him like that. Right. I don't have the time. You're going to cut me off like a douchebag and then get in front of me and be more of a douchebag? The hurdles I've had in life is I created on my own. After I did The Longest Shot, I did a great job in The Longest Shot. But one producer didn't fucking like me. Until this day, because I called them out on the set. They're fucking around. People can't take that shit. In this town, people aren't like me and Willie. You come to me and go, Joe, I need to talk to you about something. The other day you called me a Jew, and I didn't really like it. I go, Lee, what the fuck? And I'll go home and I'll think about it. The other day I said fat. Did I not tell you that it bothered you? You go, no, we're talking about getting things like, what are we going to look like, 2 fat astronauts? It's when the guy on Facebook called you fat. Some guy this morning said, hey, fat ass, you're typing a lot today. I'm surprised you have cardio. I wrote back, do I know you? Do I know you for you to talk to me like that? Go fuck your grandfather, you fucking. And he fucking flipped out. People don't understand that. So it's okay if you insult me, but right away. So tonight when I was thinking about Willie, I go, he's got the two guys that'll tell you in this life you have to stick up for yourself. Not like a gorilla. You're a sweetheart of a guy. But if you come and tell somebody the truth, if they get mad at you, I don't want to do business with them. If I come tell you, like, I don't know. Like if somebody comes to you in this town, if somebody tells you the truth, they'll cut you off. A guy like me will go home, think about it. And
no, the truth is different in Hollywood. That's why I fucked up so much.
Me too.
Because I thought the truth was like the way we were raised. The
That's
truth,
how
you
we
know,
were raised.
With the truth, with plumbers and cops and firemen and drug dealers, and the truth kept everybody alive, right? And kept everybody cool. But then when you get into Hollywood, the truth is fucking foggy, bro. You know, the truth here means bullshit. And if you're able to, it's like somebody said about a comedian that it's the weasel of a comedian. And then we were talking one time and said, how did that guy get so much? And then another guy said, that guy was able to master unsincerity. Do you know what I mean? If you're able to, and I mean, it is what it is, man. You know,
that's the only time plastic surgery looks terrible on people. Terrible. It's like putting a wig on. I know you got a wig on. You're not shocking me. But they all get plastic surgery and tell themselves they look beautiful. In 10 years, this whole town, to make it, you're going to have plastic surgery. You're going to have something done to be part of their
clique. Oh,
clique.
It's getting hard, man. It's getting hard think about how back in the day, you went and you studied acting, or you studied to be a comedian or a singer. Now, hey, man, who can sell his soul the hardest? Oh, The Bachelor. I'll fuck every guy, Bachelorette, right? I'll fuck every guy in there, and I'm good looking, and you guys can write gossip about it, and I'm a star. Or the Kardashians, right? Look, man, no fucking talent. Like, not one sings, dances, tells jokes, poetry, fucking nothing, bro. And they fucking own the fucking studios, the E. And I'm like, oh man, you imagine how many actors are out there fucking eating out of a fucking a top ramen? You know what I mean? And why? Because it's bullshit, man. I remember, bro, I did that show, Chelsea Lately. All right, I don't know if you're friends with her, bro, but I did the show with her, man, and they gave me they go, okay, what are you gonna talk about? And I had like 20 jokes, right? Like the topics, not jokes. I had the bullet points. And then they go, oh, no, she's not going to like that. She's not going to like that. She's not going to like that. I was down to like 3 jokes, and it made me look like a cute beaner, Like I was a cute, like that beaner that is, you know what I mean? That can come over, the non-threatening beaner, you know what I mean? And then, so I come on panel, right? You know, they do that bullshit. She comes out, man, fucking my pussy hair, and she's talking dirty and cussing, and I'm looking like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then in the middle of the show, the girl next to me says something racist to me, right? It wasn't even fucking funny. I appreciate a fucking funny joke, but then I got her back quick, And then so the audience is dying. Which I was saying, Chelsea Handler lately. Yeah. She looked over and she's like, "What's so funny?" And then I had just gotten her back. Anyways, it was all about. It was just such a fucking. I don't know if you've done it, Joey, but it's bizarre.
She didn't want me on there.
It was a bizarre fucking show, bro. I mean, she says jokes that aren't fucking jokes, but then the audience, like, they tell them, "Come on, like, laugh," and they'll laugh, man. I'm not. It was surreal. I was sitting there going, "Is this what the fuck am I in?" So I remember leaving, man. I couldn't get out of that fucking place fast enough, right? And one of her assistants is holding a basket, like a gift basket, Hey, what does he say? You use your basket. I said, keep it. He goes, well, what if it has $1 million? I said, then you're a millionaire, But I just kept going, man. It was. But when we're talking about bullshit and shit that's not funny. Do you know what I mean?
And you fucking idiots are at home giggling, laughing, having a good time. My brother called me. He's like, "Dog, I paid $65 to see Chelsea Handler, the show in Jersey. It was the worst thing he had ever seen in his life. They brought more bad comedy to fucking 8 o'clock than any other fucking show ever. A lot of those guys, they're gonna fucking die a slow death. They're walking around thinking they're fucking George Carlin. Once that show goes under in a month, they're gonna be fucking having a hard fucking time, because it's a fucking shame what we put up with, people.
See, we're talking.
And you guys think that it's funny that I heard me and my wife were driving back from the colonoscopy the other day, and I heard Jody Watley. Remember my love, it's just some song.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, now I understand the music business. There's people that are probably 20 times better than Jody Watley and could sing and could play, but maybe that day they didn't get picked. And it's the same thing, man. There's a lot of funny people walking around in Hollywood that nobody knows about. I read an article years ago. Jennifer Aniston said the best theater actors are the best, and they're starving in this fucking. We're not even really actors. They know it, and that's why I never seen The Attitude. If I knew I was a fugazi, like David Spade, like a fugazi like that hasn't said nothing funny in 18 fucking years, when I wake up in the morning, I thank God. I thank God heavy like that. Nobody has figured it out yet. And I'm making another $80,000 this week. And nothing. There's nothing fucking there, man. It's just, it's fucking craziness, Lisa. Lisa, what's the matter? You look all depressed. I call you.
No.
Sucker, you're tired.
It's just interesting to listen to.
Let me give a shout out to some people here for listening to the show now. I know it's a late night show. We're talking some shit here tonight. Sagicacious Chef. I know you got fucking laid off today, whatever. Stay in there, cocksucker. I love you. Sagicacious Chef, whatever your fucking name is. I want to give some love to Kaiva, Sean Monday, John D. Gomez, Frank the Tank, you bad motherfucker, Nate Meyer, John Guevara, McNeasy 22, Travis Ryan, and I don't know the last one, so fuck you, and that's it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. Willie, I'm happy you came on tonight.
Hey, man, Joey, thank you for having me, bro. I want to see that special, man. I think that thing would be powerful, man. I know the people that were in the audience when I went to go see you, and the people that were the other comics that were talking about when you were working it out at the Ice House in that stage too. Everybody was like, "Man, he's fucking got it down. He's got it." So I thought I was gonna.
That was a testicle testament, and I just had all this written material, and I had to put it out there.
Right.
And I sold them for $2 on iTunes just to get it out.
Oh, you sold it?
Fuck yeah, each show. Why not?
Oh, that's badass, bro.
Why not? It's just something to get out there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put it together, and that's great that you talked to me about helping me out.
Yeah,
because
man.
I love to do a one-man show right here in LA to really put them over the fucking top. I like doing that shit. Like we were talking, there's two different styles of comedy for that. I'm doing. Ari's got that show now.
Yeah.
Where it's what's happening with stories, and it's popular because it's something different. They take the net off, and you just go up there and say what the fuck you gotta say. Willie, what's your Twitter?
Well, Willie Barcena. At Willie Barcena.
At Willie, and what's your Facebook?
Yeah, WILLIE. That's the B as in boy, ARCENA, and Facebook is Willie Barcena.
Where are you gonna be in the next couple of weeks?
And I know I'm going to be in this on this tour.
Tommy T's.
I'm going to be at Tommy T's. I'm going to be in what else am I going to? I'm doing
what city? Because Tommy T's has a lot of.
The one in Pleasanton.
Pleasanton.
I'll be in Pleasanton. I'll be in San Antonio in a couple of weeks, and I'm doing that tour with. It's called Latin Comedy Jam with Mike Gotti is the producer. And then I got my special coming out. I'm excited about that. And I just got to give a big shout out to the guys that helped me put together my last special. I got Steve Longi, who I want you to meet him, bro. This guy he's the real deal. And this guy's if you look him up, you can see all the movies he's made in the last 10 years. And he's actually doing the Sam Kinison movie right now. They're doing it, and then Matthew Spain, who was the investor, man. Those two cats. Lot of love to them, and we're gonna now I'm gonna talk to them about you, man, about putting you on a theater down here, man. You're a beast, bro.
A lot of people, Willie, what's killing me right now about comedy is there's a lot of Johnny come latelys. And I'm one of them. And one thing I always appreciate about you, we didn't talk about your 13 little permits and all that, but one thing that's going on right now is that people have a podcast or whatever, or some people aren't popular, so people forget about them. David Tell, Wendy Liebman was on America's Got Talent tonight. They're older comics like you and I. And people see a comic on Chelsea lately, and they spend money to go see them. But it's like you, Attell, a lot of these great comics, people just don't go see no more because they think it's not hip. You know, comedy is a scene that you have to be hip for them to go see you. It's not about being funny anymore. It hasn't been about being funny for 20 years. About, you know, I want to go see a guy that really makes me laugh. I want to go see a guy that really puts time into his craft. Right. I really want to go see that. And that's a forgotten thing in this country. They'd rather go see a guy with 8 minutes that just won Last Comic Standing because he's popular, because, you know, he dances at the end or he sings a song at the end of his act. And you're one of those guys, bro, that really, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they can talk about all these Latin comics. And just, I don't even want to use the word Latin comics. And I'll tell you what, in my book, you're in the top 5. In my fucking book. I know hard work, performance, the material is just spectacular. But I sit there in awe. So I'm happy.
No, bro, I appreciate you saying that, man.
I'm happy that you're still doing it.
And I know you have listeners from all walks of life, man. And I just want to let them know that if they check out my stuff, it's not one dimensional, man. I was just in Kentucky a couple months ago, a few months back, at a club called, I forget. It was in Louisville, and it was very, very white, bro. You know what I mean? And I was there talking about maybe it was very, very white, and I was talking about maybe there isn't a God, and I got these white people laughing their ass off, and the owner came up to me afterwards and he says, "Willie, if I hadn't seen that, I would have never believed it. A Mexican talking to white people from Kentucky that there isn't a God." You know? Hey, bro, and they were dying, man. There was a good. So what I want to say that is to your listeners, man, that you know, check out my work. You know, check out some of my stuff on YouTube, and you'll see that it's not the old, you know, burrito lowrider joke. You know.
You bet, motherfucker. Let me get a read to these sponsors here. We got a new sponsor I want to welcome. Let me tell you what happened. I got a call from this guy, and he goes, "Hey, Joey, I heard you on the podcast one day saying you don't wear underwear. Then you go commando. Can I send you some underwear?" And I go, "Absolutely." Right. I swear to God, this is how this went down. He sent me some underwears. They came in a box, like 6 or 7 of them. I put them in a drawer. They sat there for a month. And one day I was going to jiu-jitsu. And every time I go to jiu-jitsu, I wear tiny whiteys, and they always creep up and my nutsack falls out. So I said, I got to either get those athletic ones. And I looked and I go, oh, my God, I got these things. And I put them on, and I got to tell you something. I wear them 3 times a week. They feel good. And I asked the guy, I was starting to talk to him, and he goes, bro, they're called MeUndies. I'd like for you to talk about them on the podcast. I don't have much fucking do-re-mi, but I like to talk. And I go, you know what? Because you sent them, American ingenuity. Right. And I'll give you a pair, Lee. They'll fit you a little nice on you. Nice. Your nutsack. When Mama comes over with the burritos, you can show you a little fucking camouflage burrito. So, you know, I just want to ask you guys how old you. They did a survey. You know that men keep their underwear for 7 years? And I started thinking about it. They're right, because I keep mine till the skid marks are visible. Once the skid marks are too visible, you see 3 or 4.
That's why you buy dark colored underwear.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 different car crashes. I fucking throw those things away. But the average, you know, and what's a woman's reaction to the fucking study? It's fucking gross. I even think they're fucking gross. Don't embarrass yourselves no more when you drop your drawers. It's time you know about MeUndies.com, all right? They're fucking comfortable. They fit perfectly. They don't ride up on you. And they literally pull the moisture away from your butt sack and your nut sack to keep you cool all day long. I got mine on right now. They feel fucking tremendous. I wore one to jiu-jitsu. I came home, I took a shower, and I put another pair on because I wanted to feel good with them when I did the fucking podcast. And right now, you don't see me squirming. You don't see none of that shit. I got them on. They feel good. They're breathing. So here's the thing. They look great. Do me a favor. Go to MeUndies.com. Check out the pics of the men underwear and the women's sexy fucking thongs, all right? They're under $20 a fucking piece. Under $20, so you can buy them every fucking 7 years, all right? And in U.S. and Canada, the shipping is free. So do me a favor. Go to MeUndies.com/Joey before September 1st, and I'll give you 20% off your first order. September 1st, 20% off when you go to MeUndies.com before September 1st. All right? Deal. They guarantee you're going to be happy with them. They're going to make your balls feel good, your ass feel good. Your wife's going to love you. When you come over later, I'll give you a fucking pair.
It's a joke, but I must change my underwear at least once a day. Because there's nothing I hate worse than old underwear.
Oh, I fucking hate it. That's why I stopped. I can't wear them with jeans. These, I tried them on with jeans last weekend. Tremendous. My nuts were in place. Sometimes when I go on stage, I do 2 shows. My socks are wet from my nut, and they smell like nutsack because the nut sweat goes right down. I can't live like that no more. So I'm wearing underwear. The other people I want to talk about is my main motherfuckers OnIt. OnIt, today I took 2 of those fucking shroom techs. I went down to Hegan's. I tell you what, I did tremendous for an hour and a half. No huffing, no fucking puffing. I rolled 1 time or 2 times. I did a bunch of drills. I sweat my ass off, but I had fucking endurance and I felt good. Do me a favor. Go to Shroom Tech. Go to OnIt.com. Look at the Shroom Tech Sport. Look at the Shroom Tech Immune. Look at the fucking Strong Bone. Look at the fucking protein powder. What's it called? Hemp Force protein powder. Look at the Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain comes with a fucking 100% guarantee. If you don't like them and you don't like them, you don't have to send back the fucking product. 1 time. Go to OnIt.com. Do me a favor. See what they got. I can't give you a deal on the kettlebells and the ropes and all that shit, but I can take care of you on the supplements. Go there today. Go to the box and press.
Church.
CHURCH, cocksuckers, and start your new fucking life today. Also, as long as we're talking about fucking nutrition and underwear and looking good, naturesbox.com. Nutritionist approved snacks delivered right to your fucking house. What's that? Right to your fucking house. Sesame sticks, pistachios. I mean, I got to do another order because I haven't had them in about 3 weeks, so I'm going to get all the new shit. Go to Nature's Box. Do me that favor right now. Go over there. See what they got. I guarantee you're going to buy 5 or 6 things. Order them. You get 50 fucking % off your first order, and they get delivered to your house or to your office. What's the code word?
Joey.
Joey. Joey. Fucking naturesbox.com. Nutritionist approved. Healthy. You don't have to eat potato chips out of the fucking thing in the office. You don't have to have fucking chips all over your desk and peanuts. Jews don't eat peanuts. Number 3, naileditlife.com. The best vapor pen on the fucking market, all right? Those guys, Dave and my main man, they'll help you out. What do they got? They got answers.
Yeah, if you call them up, they'll give you answers.
They got answers. That's what I'm talking about. Customer service is 1. You go to naileditlife.com right now. You order a pen, whatever the fuck they got, you get 20% off your first order. 20% off your first order. What do they put in the box? Just mention Joey Diaz. How's that one?
Yeah, just mention Joey
Diaz.
Diaz.
It, you fucking savages.
What?
That's it. So we talked about OnIt. We talked about naturesbox.com. Tremendous snacks. Fucking price. You get 50% off your first order. We talked about Nailed It Life. If you go with them, you get 20% off your first order. And MeUndies.com, 20% before September 1st. That's how we roll, bitches. You understand me? Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with? What else?
Do you see the thing about, I forget what country it was in, but this Irish girl sucked like 20 dicks in a bar for a free drink?
Come on.
Yeah, they closed down the bar.
How come she never comes into the fucking ha for a free fucking Oh my God. Goes to the ha and sucks 20 dicks. I met a girl at the comedy store that sucked like 18 dicks.
Oh my God.
She sucked 2 or 3 the first night, maybe 4 or 5 the second night, and then 1 the last night. And then she disappeared. She never came back. Beautiful girl, fake tits, glasses, the whole fucking thing. So they're out there, Lee.
Yeah.
In high school, there was Marathon Woman. In high school, when I was in high school, I always miss all this shit.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
never there. In high school, some sophomore came to a buddy's house and blew 20 guys.
Jesus.
They all waited in the room drinking beer, listening to music, and this kid, Jimmy Denny, would play the guitar, and he had long hair like Jimmy Page. He thought he was Jimmy for disgusting fingers. Yeah. And he had this chick, like she would just come with him. And he would go, "You want to suck Lee's dick?" "Okay." And she'd suck your dick, Lee, without even talking to you. She didn't say much. I don't know if she was a half a Momo. Not a bad-looking girl, not fat. Cute girl, but some girls just like to suck dick. A couple of them.
You talked a lot about like raising your kids right. Having a daughter, you must worry about that, right?
What are you gonna do? Cut their fucking mouth off?
But I mean,
that's
sucking dick is one thing, but 20 dicks.
20 dicks. That's somebody who didn't do the work.
Right.
They didn't do the work. They didn't sit the daughter down and say, "You can't suck 20 dicks." All right. You gotta suck 1 at a time. You want to suck 20 dicks? Do it over a month. But all in one night, that's not good for your teeth. That has to do something to your fucking enamel. You know what I'm saying? All that disgusting helmet juice. Lee, only you would read about something like that. That's in chicks.
There was a video of it. I didn't like. They blurred out the video. It was like the Young Turks or something. But she did it. The bar tricked her. The bar was like, "You're gonna get a free holiday," and then at the end they named the drink a holiday. So it ended up being just a drink.
You gotta stop reading the fucking computer, right? I love you guys, Willie. I love you. Thank you very much for coming in, brother. I love you too, cocksucker, the flying Jew. Close this motherfucker out, baby.
Now that the show is over, remember to go to naturebox.com and order great tasting healthy snacks at 50% off. Snack smarter with healthy and delicious treats like everything bagel chips and baked sweet potato fries. Support this podcast and get 50% off of your first order. Go to naturebox.com, promo code Joey. That's naturebox.com, promo code Joey. Show is also sponsored by OnIt.com. Go there and get New Mood, Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech, anything like that, get 10% off your order when you use code word church. The show is also sponsored by NailedItLife.com. For the premier vapor pen on the market, all the oil and wax smokers out there, mention Joey Diaz and get 20% off. And again, welcome to MeUndies.com. That's MeUndies.com. They have men's underwear and sexy women's lace thongs. If you all go there before September 1st, MeUndies.com/Joey, Joey, you get 20% off of your first order.